morning. Today is Thursday, September 4th, 2014, and this is Before the First Cup with Zori and Lady Pitbull on UCY.TV. Good morning, lady.
Hello, how are you?
Don't ask.
Oh, no.
Oh, no. Things coming through, so I'm going to wait for the next thing. Day before yesterday, my car broke down. Then I get up this morning, my main computer's dead as a doornail.
Oh, my God.
Yeah. And then I picked about 50 pounds of apples yesterday and was making applesauce and canning it into the night. I didn't realize it, but it was like 2:45. And I was going, oh, my God. And I went to bed, but I'm tired.
Wow. 2:45, my goodness.
I know. Time just flew. I mean, I did three batches, and I still have a whole big old batch of I keep on potatoes, apples to do. But,
wow.
Yeah.
Where'd you get all those?
Oh, I have trees out in the field here.
Oh, really? Are they're actually producing apples?
Yeah, and pecans too.
Really? In the drought, huh?
Yeah, they never seem to need water. I never water out there, but every year the apples come. But now, and they're Washington delicious apples. They make awesome applesauce.
Really?
Mm-hmm. I got 3 trees out there, and I still have more to pick.
Wow. Well, at least some crop is coming through in there.
Yeah, that seems to be the only thing. My garden didn't come up at all. Now I have I'm starting my winter garden, like my broccoli and cauliflower and stuff. My broccoli's coming up. I don't know about the rest yet.
Oh, wow.
So we will see.
Well, it's nice. You can pick broccoli when it's really young and tender, you know.
Mm-hmm. And I love broccoli. So,
yeah.
Yeah, I can eat it every day just about.
Good
for you.
Good. It is good. My dog likes it raw.
Oh, your dog likes it.
Oh, she'll just chew on the stalks and stuff and leave like little green little specks everywhere. And she likes raw carrots too.
Yeah, when I was staying down in Deep Creek, I have this little dog Teddy, and the dog did not like meat. I mean, he hardly ever ate it. I was a vegan, and he ate right along with me vegetables. He loved them all.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
It's kind of cool when they're puppies, you know, instead of like, you know, your shoe. You play with them with like raw carrots and stuff, and especially when they're like teething and losing their teeth, they love to chew on that, especially if they're cold. It feels good to their, and then that's how my dogs anyway, got to like vegetables because I was playing with them when they were pups.
Yeah, and you know, they seem to, I mean, Teddy was really healthy too, so.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Strange that I had always thought before that dogs had to have meat, you know, but guess not.
Not necessarily. I mean, God, I've got some kind of bug on my computer. I don't know, all these pop-ups are happening and all these weird messages are coming through, and oh my God.
You're going to have to run Malwarebytes.
Oh, is that what takes that stuff off?
Yeah, it's really good, and it's a free program. It's usually it's malware rather than viruses, but okay. I would run Malwarebytes first, and then run your antivirus after the show. Okay,
I will do that.
Yeah.
Now, a stupid video is playing in my freaking ear again. It's so annoying.
Isn't it annoying?
These people are just they're freaking ad crazy.
I know, you know, on YouTube you can't watch any videos now without advertising first, and some of them in the middle of them.
Oh my God, this is just ridiculous. I don't even know where it's playing at.
You don't know which one, huh?
I only have like 2 freaking windows open. Oh my God, how? It's
I can
totally
hear it
playing in my ear.
God, man, I got up. I did bring up some of the news, and I just can't believe everything that's going on.
You know, oh my God.
Yeah, just Obama stonewalls on whereabouts of illegal miners.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, and he's up there, still. And what's what was it? Which city? Some city. The only growth in jobs were taken by immigrants, illegal immigrants, in the last year.
That's not growth. That's freaking. That's that's grand theft.
Yeah.
It's grand theft, literally. It really is. I mean, that's pretty much what it is. They're coming here and they're literally stealing all of the jobs that are out there. It's not because Americans are lazy and don't want to do it. That's bullshit.
I know, Oh, it says all job gains in New North Carolina since 2000 went to immigrants. That's a pretty heavy statement there, people.
Yeah.
Let's see what they have to say there, because I just went, you got to be kidding me. How can they say that? Study net job growth in New North Carolina since 2000 went to immigrants. Now, it didn't say illegal immigrants. Let's see what it said. The net increase in the number of employed working age adults in North Carolina has gone entirely to legal and illegal immigrants since 2000. According to an analyst of government data conducted by the Center for Immigration Studies. According to the Limited Immigration Group, while the native working age 16 to 65 years old, North Carolina population has increased by 61% since 2000. The share of natives in the state's workforce has declined. The total number of working age 6 to 16 immigrants, legal and illegal, holding a job in North Carolina increased by 313,000 from the first quarter of 2000 to the first quarter of 2014, while the number of working age natives with a job decline of 32,000 over the same time period. The report reads, explaining that in the past 14 years has been the labor force participation of natives in Northern California in decline. That's bad. That seems even worse than Texas and California.
Yeah.
I mean, let's see. The study comes as North Carolina Democrat Senator Kay Hagan, who voted for the Senate-passed Gang of Eight immigration bill last summer that would have provided a path to legalization to the undocumented population and significantly increased the number of guest workers in the United States, is engaged in a tight re-election bid against Republican challenger Tom Tillis. This is a pretty long article, and there's a video to it. I wish I could play clips. But, it's ridiculous. And then for them to say that, it's jobs that Americans won't do. You know what? When we get desperate like we are, we'll do just about any job, to bring food to the table and stuff.
Absolutely.
So they're hiring them over the Americans. And plus, I don't know if it's the same there as it is like in New Mexico and Texas down by the border. You can't get a job unless you're bilingual.
Right. And I saw this other article. Let me find it. Where'd it go? It says, Feds punish businesses for engaging in citizenship discrimination. That's just the friggin' headline on that one.
Oh, that's so if I ask you, are you an American before, I hire you, then I'm in the wrong?
Right. Apparently so. Apparently so. Because, oh boy, it's just like, I read that one time where the schools they're not allowed to ask what age people are, and so there's like people that are 45 enrolling in freaking elementary school. Yeah,
you're kidding.
No, I read that a couple of weeks ago now, maybe.
Wow.
Yeah.
And here's another one. Feds sign agreement with Mexico to protect workers regardless of status.
See, this whole thing is getting This is just absolutely, it's treason. That's all. You know what I mean? It's treasonous.
The war is definitely against the American people. There's no other way of looking at it.
Yeah.
They're giving the Mexicans our jobs, and it's not that I'm prejudiced against Mexican. My first husband was a Mexican. It's that it's wrong. We're losing our country. They don't stand up for the Constitution, and it's a free for all. You know, and then they're building up fear in the people because of ISIS threatening to come in and blow up different cities.
Yeah.
You know, and then we have the Ebola that's supposed to be coming in. It's
already Ebola's already here. Make no mistake about that. It's already here. They're just, and like I said yesterday, they're doing the same shit that they did when it first broke in Sierra Leone. Well, we're just reporting a little bit of it, but then we're going to shut our mouth so it can spread really nicely. And
there's it says here, in fact, I was going to bring up yesterday, or day before yesterday, new Ebola cases unrelated to the West African outbreak.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is a whole different strain.
Oh boy, here we go.
Yeah.
It's running around releasing this shit.
Yeah, if there can be any good news, or at least not further disheartening news coming out of the African continent regarding this year's Ebola outbreaks, we have one positive report this morning. Now, I don't know why a separate strain would be a positive report, but I'll go on. The World Health Organization has just confirmed that the newly identified cases of Ebola virus disease in the Democratic Republic of Congo is genetically unrelated to the strain currently circulating in Nigeria and Sierra Leone and other parts of Guinea. A WHO collaborating research center in Franceville, Gabon, the Center International de Researchers Medicals had previously identified 6 Ebola-positive samples sent to the laboratory. They report today that the virus in the Boeing district is definitely not derived from the virus strain currently circulating in the West. So now we have 2 different strains of Ebola?
Apparently so.
Wow. And that patent was for all strains of Ebola, too, that we found online.
Right.
Yeah, so let's see. Results from the virus characterization today, together with findings from the epidemiological investigation are definitive. Okay, there we go. I lost my place for a second. Definitive, the outbreak in DRC is a distinct and independent event with no relationship to the outbreak in the West Africa. The findings is worthy of such emphasis because of concerns that the West African outbreak had somehow spread to the DRC, formerly Zaire. The viruses in each outbreak are genetically distinct, but they are both of the Zaire species of Ebola virus, a fact that might be confused, meaning the outbreaks are related. So why is that good news? You know, just because it's not the same strain, I would think it would be bad news because that means there's more different strains out there.
Right. Oh yeah, absolutely. And they're mutating too.
Yeah. Yeah, that's really not very...
And I just have this vision of these freaking crazy freaking maniacs running around out there with, you know, infecting people. Just maniacs.
Well, yeah, they had one guy escape and they went after him and finally rounded him up, and he was walking through town square looking for food.
Yeah, they're not feeding him, they're not giving him water, they're just piling them up all into the hospital, and they're letting him die. They're letting him starve to death. Maybe starving to death might be better than getting Ebola. You know what I mean?
And every time I think of this, I just think of Gates, starting this, spreading this over there since it's our virus, and they have an antidote for it. They do, or they wouldn't have created it.
Mm-hmm, absolutely. It's they've got a pill for that.
Oh yeah, I don't know. And now they're saying there's another American doctor who has got it. And now are they bringing him home too? Have you heard?
The American doctor who had it?
The latest one. Yeah, there's been another American doctor.
Oh, no, see, I have no idea about that. I just know that they sent the other one home.
Yeah, after a couple days?
For self-quarantining, yeah, that's bullshit. Especially if there's a 21-day, incubation period, absolutely. So,
that makes you wonder, is this real? Is this real? All we know is we got our reporters reporting to us, and we all know who tells them what to say. But that just does not make no sense at all to just release them, home with such a deadly virus.
Yes.
It just really
absolutely.
It reminds me of 1984 when they're reporting, we're at war with this, and this is going on, when none of it.
Right.
Nada is going on.
Yeah, absolutely. This is how it works. This is the exact...
I know. You don't know what to believe.
Well, this is the exact of their plan, and God knows. So next Thursday, these things are killing me, these ads. Oh my God, dude.
You can't find it?
There's like 4 of them playing at once on this freaking article that I've got open that I really want to read.
You can't mute them? I mute mine.
I just did, but they keep refreshing. Like the page keeps refreshing every 10 seconds.
Don't hit pause. Hit the mute.
I hit both.
Oh wow. And they still keep going. I'd leave the page.
Yeah, but I want to read this freaking article.
Okay, go for it. I can't hear the ads, so...
That's good. It's just so unbelievably...
I know. You can't hear
annoying. Because, you're talking, and then I hear this stupid-ass music going, and it's like, people, they got you coming and going. You know what I mean? And then it just keeps refreshing every 10 seconds. And you're like, shit, I want to take a baseball bat to this.
I hear you.
But this article is vastly important. It's pretty impressive, in fact.
What is it?
But Go
ahead and read it then.
Okay, hang on. Let me see if I can't keep doing this, man. All right, so are you done with yours?
Yeah.
Okay, I just don't want to interrupt you. Let's see. It says 30 million Americans on antidepressants and 21 other facts about America's endless pharmaceutical nightmare, which is exactly what it is. It's a freaking raging nightmare. It says has there ever been a nation... Hang on, I gotta mute these things. Alright, has there ever been a nation more hooked on drugs than the United States? And I'm not just talking about illegal drugs. The truth is that the number of Americans addicted to legal drugs is far greater than the number of Americans addicted to illegal drugs. Let's see. As you will read about below, as I will read about below, more than 30 million Americans are currently on antidepressants. Doctors in the U.S. wrote more than 250 million prescriptions for painkillers last year. Holy crap. That is super, super duper crazy.
Wow, that is insanity.
250, that's pretty much almost one for every single man, woman, and child.
They're making the illegal drug dealers competition.
That's right. It says, sadly, most of the people got hooked on these drugs very innocently. and they trusted that their doctors would never prescribe something for them that would be harmful. Oh, here we go again. Oh my god, and these things freaking, like, they refresh every 10 seconds, so it's like, it's so really annoying. Alright, it's gonna just keep doing this to me until I get through this freaking article. I have to deal with it. Sadly, most people get hooked on these drugs very innocently. They trusted that their doctors would never prescribe something for them that would be harmful, and they trusted that the federal government would never approve any drugs that were not safe. Yeah, right. And once the drug companies get you hooked, they often have you for life. Absolutely. That's the plan, guys. They need to get us all hooked, because if we're hooked on drugs, we can't fight back so very well now, can we?
Right, and they're diagnosing, 3-year-olds with bipolar so they can get them early.
Yeah, absolutely. Yep, because the earlier they can, like, start squelching those brain neurons from firing in their little brains, then they've got them for the rest of their life, for sure. And that's just sick and twisted to me. Sick and twisted.
That and the vaccines that make them autistic so they can still run machinery, but they don't have no other social functioning.
Yeah, it says, you see, the reality of the matter is that some of these legal, quote, legal drugs are actually some of the most addictive substances on the entire planet. And when they start raising the prices on on those drugs, there isn't much that the addicts can do about it. See, that's what a typical freaking drug dealer does. Goes in there, he sells you some, like, heroin for, $5-10. You know what I mean? To the little kid.
The longer and the more you need it, the more the price goes up. Exactly.
This is what they... Oh, my God. Now my whole freaking thing just... Absolutely just... The whole article is freaking gone. I can't even believe this.
I've been having...
Oh, my God. The whole article just is gone. Wait, there it is. Okay, I got it. Oh, these bastards. It just drives me crazy. I've got all kinds of crap going on my computer. All kinds of viruses and shit. It's like there's ads, like, just popping up everywhere.
After the show, I'll give you some software to run. Because that's what I did for a living, was I cleaned computers of infected.
Did you really?
Yes.
Oh, my God, that's awesome.
After the show, I help you and we'll get rid of it.
Oh, thank you, because this is driving me nuts.
Right.
Okay. Alright. It says, it's a brutally efficient business model, and the pharmaceutical industry guards their territory fiercely. Very powerful people will often do some really crazy things, often when there are hundreds of billions of dollars at stake. The following are 22 facts about America's endless pharmaceutical nightmare that everyone should know. Number 1. According to the New York Times, there should be somewhere else. Somebody else, according to. According to the New York Times, more than 30 million Americans are currently taking antidepressants. And that, people, is not, it doesn't include, like, narcotics or anything like that. That's just 30 million people on antidepressants. And what happens when you take everybody off of antidepressants all at once? It's freaking, there's the zombie apocalypse right there, dude.
Well, they say you can die if you just stop them abruptly.
You either die, or you go on a killing spree, or you kill yourself.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Well, even when you're on some of those antidepressants, that makes you want to kill yourself.
Yes, absolutely.
Or others, yeah.
And that's, it's one of the side effects. So if you just read the frickin' inserts of these damn drugs, you'll see, could cause suicidal thoughts or behaviors. Really? You know what I mean? Why the hell would you want to take something that says that?
Oh, they put my friend's daughter, she had broke up with her boyfriend, so of course you're depressed. That is a depressing situation.
Sure.
And so she was drinking and doing a few things, kind of crazy like. And so she committed herself to, one of the places where, you go in for 72 hours and they help you through that stage. Well, they put her on some antidepressants, and I told the man, I got so angry I couldn't believe it. I weaned her off of them right away. But I said, no, it's normal to be depressed. We are emotional beings. We are supposed to feel emotion and hurt and pain when someone dies or something. That is the way we're built. Now they come in and they give us this medication that suppresses all that feelings. Then what happens? Makes everybody passive and you don't got no feelings at all.
Right. Absolutely. Yeah. Oh my God. I am like trying to close some of this crap out, and it's...
maybe that's why there's so much, that there's so much apathy, no empathy for anyone, and everybody's in this zone, it seems like, from the medication. Right. I mean, when you go out and ask all your friends how many of them are on medication, I mean, I was blown away when I realized how many people were taking, I only take it once in a while when I need it, or the doctor says this will help me through this. But, they're depressed because they're out of work. Well, you should be depressed. Where's common sense? When you should be feeling these things, I think it would be worse if I, didn't have no means of support. I would want to be depressed. That's what gives you the incentive to go do something about it.
Right, and that's just what we're human, right? Mm-hmm. I mean, we're supposed to feel feelings.
Yeah, we're supposed to. We're emotional creatures.
Exactly. Oh my God, I think I took care of these ads.
Yay!
I just closed them out.
Okay, now can you continue with your article?
I certainly can.
All right.
Okay, so number 2, out of 22 facts, it says, the rate of antidepressant use among middle-aged women is far higher than for the population as a whole. At this point, 1 out of every 4 women in their 40s and 50s is taking an antidepressant medication. That's hard freaking core. 1 out of every 4 people. Holy crap. Americans account for about 5% of the global population, but we buy more than 50% of the pharmaceutical drugs. That's number 3. Number 4 is Americans also consume a whopping 80% of all prescription painkillers. That's insane. They have they're making everybody into fucking junkies here, so that we can't fight back, man. All right, number 5. It's hard to believe, but doctors in the United States write 259 prescriptions for painkillers each year. Prescription painkillers are some of the most addictive legal drugs, and our doctors are serving as enablers for millions upon millions of Americans that find themselves hooked on drugs that they cannot kick. Holy shit.
Kickbacks, it's called. Kickbacks.
Oh yeah.
Rich.
Absolutely. Number 6. Overall pharmaceutical drug use in America is at an all-time high. According to a study, alright, here we go, guys. This is like a big deal right here. According to a study conducted by the Mayo Clinic, nearly 70% of all Americans are at least on one prescription drug. 70%, guys. And nearly 20% of all Americans are on at least 5 prescription drugs. So 70% of Americans are on at least 1 prescription drug, and then 20% of those are on at least 5 prescription drugs. That is just mind-freaking blowing.
And kids in foster care, up to 20.
Hang on, I'll get to that. Yeah, that's in here too. Number 7, according to CDC, approximately 9 out of 10 Americans that are at least 60 years old say they have taken at least 1 prescription drug within the last month. Number 8, in 2010, the average teen in the United States was taking 1.2 central nervous, 1.5, it says 1.2 central nervous system drugs. Those are the kinds of drugs which treat conditions such as ADHD and depression. That's the average teen. Number 9, a very disturbing Government Accountability Office report found that approximately 1/3 of all foster children in the United States are on at least one psychiatric drug. Holy shit, there you go. Number 10, an astounding 95% of the, quote, experimental medicines that the pharmaceutical industry produces are found not to be safe and are never approved. 95%, let me read that again, of experimental medicines that the pharmaceutical industry produces are found not to be safe and are never approved. The remaining 5% that are approved, we often do not find out that they are deadly to us until decades later. So, what the hell is the use of the FDA? They're absolutely of no use at all whatsoever freaking ever. They don't do their jobs. I mean, we need to just scrap those bastards. Because they don't do shit if 95% of these medicines haven't even been tested and that are never approved. This is just retarded. Number 11. One study discovered that mothers that took antidepressants during pregnancy were 4 times more likely to have a baby develop an autism spectrum disorder. Number 12. It has been estimated that prescription drugs kill approximately 200,000 people in the United States every single year. Okay, guys. If prescription drugs kill approximately 200,000 people in the United States every single year, don't you think we better be banning prescription freaking drugs?
But they usually don't cite that as the cause.
Yeah, typically not, but if these are the facts, then guns don't even hold a candle to prescription drugs. Not even
close.
Not even. I mean, you could take all the murders of guns from guns, including police shootings, and oh great, the whole damn thing just refreshed. Oh, you bastard.
Well, that's the number one killer in this country is medical error or from prescription drugs or doctors being diagnosing you wrong.
That's right.
More than drunk drivers.
Oh my God. My computer is going absolutely batshit apeshit. It's freaking out right now. Holy shit, I can't even deal with this. Oh my God.
Do you have an antivirus?
I think I took it off my computer. Holy crap, man. Every time I try and close it, it doesn't...
Picked up a whole bunch of them?
Yeah.
Yep, you got malware on there, dearie.
Alright, well, I've got the malware bites.
Oh, good.
I do have that, so... Alright, I'm sorry, guys. Bear with me. It's, these things are just... I can't even deal with it. And then they're going to start playing in my ear, and then... Alright, let me just try to get through this if I can. I don't even know where the hell I was.
Number 7 or 8?
Let's see. Yeah, nervous system... Okay, number 9. A very disturbing Government Accountability Office report that approximately 1/3 of all foster children are on at least one psychiatric drug. Okay, I think I was on number...
I think that percentage is higher.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it is. Oh, here it is. Yeah, 200,000 people years. In fact, that number is probably the number that is people die most in this country. That's got to be the most highest reason people die, even heart attacks or car crashes or any of that. Okay, number 13, let me get through this. An American dies from an unintentional prescription overdose every 19 minutes, according to Dr. Sanjay Putta. I hate that son of a bitch. Accidental prescription drug. Actually, his name is Putta. Accidental prescription drug overdose is the leading cause of acute preventable death for Americans. Yes, it is. Number 14, in the United States today, prescription painkillers kill more Americans than heroin and cocaine combined, and it seems like it would, why don't you throw gun deaths in there too? Number 15, according to the CDC, approximately 3/4 of a million people a year are rushed to emergency rooms in the United States because of adverse reactions to pharmaceutical drugs. Number 16, the number of prescription drug overdose deaths in the United States is 5 times higher than it was back in 1980. Oh, that's real nice. Number 17, a survey conducted for the National Institute on Drug Abuse found that more than 15% of all U.S. high school seniors abuse prescription drug. 15% is a hell of a big number, guys. Number 18, more than 26 million women over the age of 25 say they are using prescription medications for unintended uses. 26 million women. That's real nice. Number 19, all of these antidepressants are If all of these antidepressants are helping, then why are more Americans killing themselves? The suicide rate for Americans has gone between the ages of 35 and 64, increased by nearly 30% between 1999 and 2010. The number of Americans that die by suicide is now greater than the number of Americans that die as a result of car accidents every year. And we can attribute that to the pain, or to the antidepressants. Number 20, antidepressant use has been linked to mass shootings in America over and over again, and we know about this. Yet the mainstream media is eerily quiet about this. It is because they don't want to threaten our greatest resources of advertising revenue. Yes, I would say that's true. 21. The amount of money that the pharmaceutical industry is raking in is astronomical. It has been reported that Americans spent more than $280 billion on prescription drugs in 2013. If many of these drugs are not so addictive, the pharmaceutical companies would make a lot less money, and the pharmaceutical drug addicts often don't fit the profile we think of as a drug addict would look like. For example, CNN shared the story of a 55-year-old grandmother named Cynthia Scudo that became addicted to painkillers. For Scudo, her addiction began, as they all do, innocently enough. She sought relief from the pain, possibly caused by scarring from cesarean sections she had delivering several of her children. Then her then-husband recommended a physician. There was no physical therapy offered, and she said, and the doctor's visit, the first reaction was, let me give you some drugs. He put her on Oxycontin. By the second week, she was physically addicted. It only took 2 weeks, guys. She was popping so much of the painkiller and other drugs, such as anti-anxiety Valium, that they equated a dosage for 3 men. Okay? There is lots of money to be made from addiction. In fact, the U.S. healthcare system was a totally separate nation. It says, in fact, if the U.S. healthcare system was a totally separate nation, it would actually be the 6th largest economy on the entire globe. So let me say that again. It would actually create the 6th largest economy on the entire globe, guys. The pharmaceutical industry is pretty much just like the military-industrial complex. We are talking about piles of money larger than most people would ever dare to imagine. And this is part of how these bastards are sucking money out of people's pockets, is through the pharmaceutical industry.
You know, one Prozac alone makes them over $250,000 a minute.
Yeah, it's astronomical. It says, and with so much money floating around, it's quite easy for the pharmaceutical industry to buy the corporation of our politicians and the media. Really? You think so? Sometime when you are watching television in the evening, consciously note how often a pharmaceutical commercial comes on. It's gotten to the point where we are literally being inundated with these ads. They are already making hundreds of billions of dollars. They think there's even more room for growth. Will they ever be satisfied? Hell no, these bastards ain't going to be satisfied. That's the end of that fucking... Ugh.
Well, you know, they
my computer. Go.
They have this thing called Fast Track where now pharmaceutical companies, all they have to do is pay the FDA $1 million and it gets fast-tracked through. It's all in the money now, even in that.
Oh, God. Yes, absolutely. The FDA doesn't even get a whiff of it for approval or non-approval.
Right. Everyone should see that movie, that documentary, Making a Killing, The Truth About Psychotropic Drugs. It is so informative.
Great movie. I love that movie.
Yep. Yeah, that's one that I hand out all the time, especially to parents with children.
Yes. Yeah, that's a fantastic movie. I love that movie. What's it called again?
Making a Killing, The Truth About Psychotropic Drugs. And I mean, they have all these doctors and these people that used to distribute it for these companies until they woke up and told the truth. And they tell how they are told to go lie to doctors and, you know, and then they get these well-known doctors. They pay them gobs of money to get up and tell all their peers how, you know, they're pushing the drugs for them. It's terrible.
Absolutely. And they pretty much have everybody by the short hairs. And then, you know, you've got people that are in their 60s, 70s, and 80s and 90s that, you know, have to either take their prescription meds or buy food or pay their bills. Or
you know, it's like being at the gas pump. Should I put gas in or buy food? Well, the same with the drugs. And like Joe Friday said, you can go to Mexico, sometimes Canada, and get the same prescription for half as much, but they have since then been busting people that went to Mexico with a prescription or not a prescription. They picked up their drugs and they bust them for transporting narcotics or drugs across the border now.
Right. Absolutely.
To keep that money here.
That's right. That's a very good point. Thanks, Joe.
Yeah, because a lot of people, they would get together, like the older people that are on a bunch of the drugs, and one person would fly down and get all the scripts filled and come back. They got wind of it, and they busted them. You know? Yeah,
absolutely, and they'll do that every time, you know what I mean? And they definitely, you know that they're part of the underground. These pharmaceutical industries, they feed the underground market. You know they do. I mean...
Well, that's why, too, the war on pot is still so strong because the government... You think they destroy all that pot they confiscate? Bullshit.
Oh, hell no. It just goes right back on the damn street. And then they set aside, like, some token amount just to show that, oh, look, we're burning it. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? When the big warehouse is freaking full of shit that they're putting back out in the streets.
Well, the amounts of pot that they've been finding up here this year is astronomical. And if they were burning that, the whole county would be wasted, let me tell you. Hundreds of thousands of plants.
Wow.
Yeah. So...
See, that's ridiculous. Why in the hell are they doing that when California's like a medical state?
The feds.
Bastards.
Yep.
Oh,
I mean, that's how they make their money. They don't want it legal. The cops don't want it legal. That's
right.
Damn sure. And then that article that you read about the under the influence, that just cracked me up. I was trying to explain it to my friend how they were, you know, for it and against it in the same article. It was just ridiculous.
Yeah. It was that Orwellian doublespeak. It was from the Christian Science Monitor.
Yeah, that's just nuts. I'm trying to explain that to somebody. It's really hard.
Yeah, absolutely right.
But yeah, people, and and then if you don't want to put your child on Ritalin or one of these drugs, they take your child away from you.
Yeah, exactly. They take the child away, and then they force them on it anyway, and then when they turn, if you ever get the child back or see the child again, they're a complete drooling zombie.
Plus, they tell you that they will take your child away from you if you take them off the drugs.
Right.
And what's worse is the teachers are now the doctors.
Yeah.
If the kid is playing around, it's the teacher who decides to go send them to the doctor to put them on drugs. This is bad news.
They have a little disruption in class, then holy crap, they need to be put on antidepressants.
No more class clowns, that's for damn sure.
Yeah. If you're like a natural comedian from an early age and you like goofing around all the time, people need to nurture that, not freaking put kids on antidepressants.
And I mean, when that one case of that doctor putting a 3-year-old deciding they were bipolar, that just blew me really, really out of the water.
How are you going to decide a 3-year-old is bi-fucking-polar? Really?
Exactly. When I was growing up, we had never heard of any of this.
I know. I mean, it was unheard of to put a 3-year-old on antipsychotics or lithium.
Or anybody.
God, a 3-year-old? Really?
Right. I mean, it's like, I never heard, when I started hearing about bipolar and all this, to me, it's just an excuse for anybody who wants to be an asshole to say they're bipolar and give them a pill.
Some people out there, I think that these the bipolar and all that crap, they're like made up, they're pulled out of a hat, you know what I mean? They
are.
But the problem is that, like, I've got a friend who is bipolar or whatever, and she absolutely insists that these meds help her out. And without the meds, she'd go crazy. And
I do believe it, but is it the drugs that's really making them?
That's what I keep telling her. I'm telling her that it's all the damn drugs you're on. And she's on, like, freaking, 10 scripts every day.
Every day.
It's just her liver can't take it anymore. She looks like she's in a declining state of being. It's terrible. She's lost weight. She's lost at least 100 pounds in the last year. And she's now looking like this weird skeleton, and her face is all messed up. She's white as a sheet. And she just looks terrible, and she's on all kinds of shit.
Okay, but look, how long ago did they start with the vaccines with the mercury in it and stuff? These people are now becoming of age and need all these other medications to help the problem of, all the cells that mercury killed off when you were growing up.
That's right. That's absolutely right. And this is why they've got to get them on at a young age, so that their immune system, when they get to be in their 40s and 50s, are completely compromised. And you know what I mean?
And their brains aren't completely functioned right, because what mercury really does is destroy these brain cells that in developing children at the ages of when we start our kids on those, how many, 56 inoculations I think they get now. We got 3 when I was in school.
Yeah.
And they didn't have mercury in them.
Right.
And
there
so
were real shots back then.
Yeah, and there's going to be more and more as these young kids start getting older, and it really starts becoming noticeable. It's like in that Making a Killing. Those psychiatrists, 12, 15 psychiatrists sit around in a table, all of them connected to the pharmaceutical companies, and they make up diseases and give it a name so they can charge money for it.
Exactly. They make up diseases. That's exactly right. They pull it out of their butts.
Mm-hmm.
They're pulling these freaking, geez.
They give them names. They go, oh yeah, you know what? Oh, that symptom and this symptom and that symptom. Oh, let's put this drug to it. And that's only so they can charge the insurance companies. They have to have a name.
Exactly. And they don't like it when the double dipping happens. Well, they create the double dipping in the first place. You know what I mean? It's just.
And now grief is a disease. If someone dies, it's a disease, and they have appeal for it.
What is?
Grief.
Oh, grief.
Yeah. That's in
well,
that
they
new
used to
book.
say back in the day that, oh, you know, she died of a broken heart, you know.
Mm-hmm. But that, you know, think how unhealthy that is. If you don't, I mean, there's you know, you have to go through a certain grieving point to get through it, because otherwise it's all inside.
Exactly.
And it can drive you nuts. You know, we're, like I say over and over, we are emotional creatures. We need to feel these emotions. It's invasion of the body snatchers.
Well, it's Aldous Huxley's Brave New World too, and he has said, you know, that people will be drugged up, you know, that they'll learn to love their servitude, you know, of the drugs.
Yep.
And it's really just that simple. And that's exactly what has happened. He completely predicted the future.
I know. I wonder, I'm not involved with the schools or anything anymore, but it would be interesting to go to your local school and find out just how many kindergartners are on psychotropic drugs.
Yeah, God, I bet you that they won't even, they can't even release numbers that say anything like that. I'm sure of it. People would just be like, just insane with like, what are you talking about? I mean, if they were to release those numbers of how many kindergartners are on psychotropics, God.
Right. Well, I was just watching, and I don't remember which documentary it was, but these people adopted a girl, and they had her on all these drugs, and
it was called American Drug Wars.
And if they come up with another symptom, they get more money.
Yes, it was cannabis.
Yeah, that is it. Right.
American Drug War, Cannabis Destiny. That's one of my favorite films. I'm looking at it right here in my collection.
Yep, me too. I bought it, and
well, good for you.
Oh yeah, I bought that right away when I seen it, because I mean, I have snitches, and I have a lot on psychotropic drugs. I've been watching it and watching all the people around me being taken in. You know, anyone that goes to a doctor and in that making a killing, it shows people that go into a doctor's office, you know, with hidden camera. It doesn't take but 30 minutes to be put on a psychotropic drugs, and they don't even talk to you about symptoms or anything. In a half hour, you can walk out with drugs.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just, it's amazing, you know. I mean, it used to be when you'd go see a shrink that you would talk it out and you would find the source of the problem. Well, now it's just here. Numb yourself.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we'll take care of you.
Mm-hmm.
We'll take care of that little, you know, overactive brain of yours.
Yep. And if you refuse or you don't take it, then you become a ward of the court, or your kid becomes a ward of the court, and they force you. And that's the scariest part right there. If you say, I don't want my child on this, I don't think they need it. Well, then, you know, one lady split to Canada, and within a year they found her and brought her kid back and put her right on those drugs.
Yeah.
You know, so.
That's insane.
It is. That's why I won't even go to the doctor, because if I ever got diagnosed with something and they wanted me to go in the hospital, it's not happening.
Yeah, I've got a friend that thinks like us, and he just started to get sicker and sicker and sicker, but he knew that going to the doc would be just like a bad deal. And
it's a death sentence a lot of the time.
Yeah, but now it turns out he's got like stage 4 cancer, and he let it go too long.
Well, you know, that's the thing, though. There's so many different kinds of, but look at what are they going to treat him with? Poison.
Yeah.
You know, and there's more, there's lots of cures out there, you know, and it mostly has to do with diet. And there, I mean, you know, it's not just pot.
Absolutely. It's all dietary, and behavioral problems in children is all freaking dietary, too.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? It's
allergies?
Yeah, and allergies, same damn thing. You know what I mean? It's all, like, all the sugar and all the aspartame people consume. I mean, if you're having a problem, the first thing to do is to start, you know, changing your diet around. That's the first go-to thing.
Keep a diary and see, you know, especially with your children, keep a diary of what they eat and watch how they're reacting afterwards, because there's so many, like, flour, gluten, and so many products. Like if they're getting crazy right after breakfast, then I would be looking at wheat and things like that before I would take my kid to the doctor and think, oh, it's a brain function dysfunction.
Right, absolutely.
Yeah, I had a friend that had a little girl, Amy. She was just the sweetest little girl. And all of a sudden, she just started throwing these temper tantrums in the morning, just crazy. And we found out she was allergic to what was in some of the cereals, and we had to take her off of it, and she went right back to that sweet little girl.
See?
So,
yeah. No.
Yeah.
It's crazy, man.
And you don't even have to go to the doctor to find out what you're allergic to. Keep a diary of where you are, what you're around, and what you're eating. And you have to look at the label, and there's so many bad shit in it. But you have to look at the label and keep recording that and see what, goes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean,
and then just take that out of your diet.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. I've been lucky. I don't have allergies, but I feel so for people who do. But it's interesting. Well, I did have one about my guinea pig, and it was so trippy the way my doctor did this. He practiced acupuncture and pressure, and what he did, he had me hold my hand up, and he was pushing down on it, and he had put different smells to my nose, and as soon as he put the one with guinea pigs, all my strength left my arm. And my arm went flying down. He goes, you're allergic to guinea pigs.
That, really?
Yes.
Just like that?
Just like that. You know how if you're pushing up on your hand and someone's pushing down, and you're holding it up there, as soon as you get a whiff of something you're allergic to, you will lose all strength in that arm and it will go flying down.
Jeez, man.
Mm-hmm.
I never knew that. So you can't hold a guinea pig?
Well, you know what I had to do? I had to wash that guinea pig every day for 30 days, and somehow that helped, and I wasn't allergic to it no more.
Aww.
I don't know why that worked, but this doctor was so awesome. I mean, he used acupressure on my back when I got hurt, and he was just amazing, and he would do it, lay me on my stomach, run this thing down my back, and then hit different points on my feet and my back with an actuator, a thing that just like pushed. And he had me up and running in a few months.
Wow.
Yeah, where other doctors wanted to put me on painkillers, which I refused to get on.
Good.
So I went to a pain psychologist, and then I went to Dr. Remedius. He was amazing. I mean, amazing. And he used acupressure instead of acupuncture, and that's where they use the electrodes and the pushing in of instead of putting needles in. But it sure did. It made a difference on mine.
Neat. That's
and he could tell me what I ate.
Really?
Yeah, he would. I'd lay down there, and it's weird. He would mess with my feet and tap them and make them even or whatever, and then he'd use this little what would we call it? I don't know. It was like a pressure thing that had he could put it up on my back and then release it, and it would put pressure right there, and he would line my back up like that.
Wow.
Awesome doctor. He died recently though.
Oh, jeez, that's terrible.
I mean, he's the one that cured me of carpal tunnel with vitamin B6.
Oh yeah?
Yep. You should do it under doctor's care because it becomes toxic at a certain point.
Yeah.
But he just kept building me up with it because they wanted to do surgery on both arms. And then at a certain point, I think I got up to 300 milligrams a day, and I stayed at that level, and it took about 3 months, I think it was, and I've never had another problem.
Wow. So what are you going to do now that he's gone?
Well, hope I don't get carpal tunnel no more. I mean, I ran a lumber store, and I ran the registers and everything outside and stuff, and I developed carpal tunnel, but I don't. You can get it from the computers, I guess. I would go back on the vitamin B6 if I had a problem with it again. Well, I mean, mine was so bad I had to wear braces on both wrists.
Ugh. I was just saying, if you ever get sick and he was such a good doc, who would you go to now?
Well, I have a friend that's a therapeutic masseuse, and really, I have a really bad back. I heard it, lifting a 100-pound bag of concrete, and so I can tell when I'm starting to like not feel good or whatever. I can have her come over and work on me, and the next day I feel great.
That's good.
Yeah, so a lot of it has to do with, stress building up. I get huge knots where, I'm just going, and then she's learned that unless I say stop, continue on. I'm just a screamer.
Yeah, me too. I do that too. Have you ever heard of a me gun bed?
Yeah, I have.
Yeah. A lady moved in with me, and she brought a me gun bed with her, and that's taking care of my back, man. Believe me, this thing is so freaking cool. It's really remarkable. It's done remarkable stuff for me already.
Right, and then he used to. In fact, my roommate just got a thing too that you put this on your back and opposite sides. And it sends electrodes through, and it breaks your big pain into little pain so you don't feel it. And that's what my other doctor did, too, a lot. I forgot what it's called, but she picked it up at a yard sale. I couldn't believe it.
Huh?
She picked it up at a yard sale in Texas.
What was it?
It's a thing where, I forget what it's called, but you put it on your back, or wherever your pain is. You put it like one on one side, one on the other, and it shoots electricity, small doses, and you can feel it, but it shoots it in between the two, and it breaks down your large pain into small pain to where it doesn't register with your brain. It's awesome. A lot of athletes use them.
Interesting. It's very interesting.
They're great. And then my friend's a nurse, so she knew how to work it. And so it's neat because, and you can turn it up to a level to where, you can feel the electrodes going in between, but it shouldn't hurt.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you take it up as high as you can, and then it's amazing. My doctor told me how that works. I go, how's that working like that? And he goes, well, they break up the big pain. And if the pain's small enough, it doesn't tell your brain that it's in pain. So, yeah, it's really great.
Wow, that's amazing.
Oh, that's a TENS unit, I think. Is that? But anyway, it's great. There's so many avenues out there to, heal yourself and research. A lot of alternatives other than the pills.
Absolutely.
Yeah. But anyway, yeah, just, and I keep telling people get off the drugs. I mean, I'm about the only person I know that's doesn't have prescription bottles in their medicine cabinet.
I really don't either. I kind of keep them kind of stashed away. Like from my back surgery, I kind of hoarded stuff from all those years ago, and I keep it stashed away just in case of a really, really bad emergency. And I haven't had to use any of it, which is cool.
Yeah.
But it's there if I need it. You know what I mean? If you're taking it for real honest to goodness pain, deep down shooting pain or whatever, you get cut or something, then it's there. But just
and
to do
funny?
it without
when you go to the emergency room here. Now I went once and I had an earache, a horrible earache. And they gave me they sent me home with Tylenol, told me to take Tylenol, and I said, wait a minute, I'm in excruciating pain. And the doctor goes, well, I can't think of anything stronger. And I go, do we have to tell you? They don't want to give you pain pills, but yet they're pushing all these other drugs on top of you. But if you're really in pain, they don't want to give you anything to stop that pain. It's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Take Tylenol when you need some. I mean, there are times, you're right, when you do need a painkiller.
Yeah. So, but it's just but you don't have to just keep doing them. I mean, like that article said, that lady got addicted in just 2 short weeks of taking this crap. And then to get off of this crap is a lot worse than getting off of heroin and stuff. So, they're just setting the stage for the addictions, and they got you by the short hairs, man. And then you're giving all your money to them,
And then when you can't get enough from them, then you go to the street and pay more bucks for them. Yeah,
exactly. And this is how they're sucking money out of everybody's bank account.
Yeah, I think, what is it? Vicodin is a big one out there that has gone to the street, where I know I've heard of some people, they go in and get their scripts of Vicodin and then go sell them on the street.
Absolutely. Oh yeah, people do that crap all the time.
And I mean, for outrageous amounts, like $10 a pill for, like, OxyContin's $10 a pill or something.
Sure.
And I'm just going, oh my God, and people are shooting it up in their veins, and I just
yeah. That's a huge problem. I mean,
man.
I've seen junkies where they'll scrape the outer coating off the pill off and then dissolve it and shoot it in their veins. I've seen that so many times. It's not even funny.
That's unreal. I've seen
that shit. I didn't.
Yeah, I'm glad, because I did hang around with a rough crowd at certain times in my life, but I'm so needle phobic that there's no way in hell.
Not me. I learned. I mean, really, if you, once you do it, once you get over that initial thing, it gets real freaking easy.
No, I mean, I've had this phobia. I mean, I'm the worst that most doctors have ever even seen. I can't calm down. It's just uncontrollable.
I used to have that too when I was a kid, and it took like 3 nurses to hold me down, typically. But
I'm an adult, and it takes that.
I got over that pretty quick. Tell you the truth.
Nah, there's no way. I can't even watch on TV. And I mean, last time they tried to put an IV in me, I broke 3 needles. They broke 3 needles. The 2 doctors gave up, and finally this one nurse got me calmed down enough to where she could get the IV in.
Well, see, it's that right there.
And I don't want to be out of control. I want to be.
See, if you're like screaming and moving when they're trying to do that, they can go and puncture your other side of the vein wall, and then you're really screwed. And then
my arm was black and blue, and see, that's the thing. A phobia is uncontrollable fear, because I want to be calm. I wanted my arm to be relaxed, because I wanted to get it over with. But I don't know. It's the only thing I have not been able to conquer my whole life. I've conquered my vertigo and my fear of heights and everything, but it seems to get worse as time goes by.
Yeah, there's I'll really freak your ass out here. How's this? The lady that I take care of that's 101 years old, once every 3 months, she's got to go to the eye center and get injections into her eyes.
My friend has to do that too.
Yeah.
There's no way in hell that would happen with me. When I had MRSA, I had to go in every day and get a shot. And I would start crying when I got up in the morning knowing I had to go up there. And it was getting worse, with the shots. So finally I said, screw this, I ain't doing it no more, and cured it myself. But, that was a living hell for me. The shots was worse than the MRSA.
Yeah, Dalnick in the chat room said, have you ever seen the arms of a dialysis patient? Well, there's like big giant holes in there. I used to have a buddy that there goes my fucking computer again. This bastard. It's just, I'm not even touching it, and the chat room is going on to these advertisements, and I'm not even moving the damn mouse around. It's ridiculous.
Yeah. And phobias like that, like my needle phobia, it's not the pain that I'm afraid of. I mean, my appendix ruptured because I was so afraid of needles of going to the hospital. It ruptured right as I got to the hospital because my friend knocked me out. But, I mean, I will put up with almost any amount of pain not to have a shot. Yeah. I had my natural childbirth not to have a shot. I'll do anything not to have a shot. So it's not the pain.
Right.
It's a phobia. That's unexplained fear. That's exactly what it is.
Well, like I said, my buddy used to give blood, and he used to go to the blood bank all the time to give blood, and and you can see where they hit him every single time. He's literally got a hole in the same spots on both of his arms, and that's just from giving blood. just so he can get, an extra $25 a week to drink on.
I've heard of people doing that, going and selling. I have a friend in Oregon that goes and sells his blood or his plasma every month.
And then he would say, hey, if you start drinking after you give plasma, you get more wasted. So that's what he would do.
Yeah,
he has the booze in his backpack, and then when he's walking out of the place, he instantly starts cracking like whatever he's drinking, and then he walks down the street just drinking it.
Isn't that crazy?
Oh, yeah. And that's a lot of people do that,
Yeah.
So...
And some give fake names and give blood more than they should even.
Yeah, I always say that whoever the hell is going to end up with this guy's plasma is going to be freaking drunk.
I wonder if that's true.
You might wake up with a hangover on the operating table, yo.
Well, now what to do, and what most people do, is they have their own blood drawn if they're going to be going in for surgery. That way they get their own blood back. Own blood back, or family.
Yeah, that's wise. I mean, that's what I would want to do if I was in that situation.
Well, yeah, because my friend, their little 5-year-old got AIDS from blood that the hospital gave him that they didn't even know about.
Right, see?
Yeah.
Oh, boy. Yeah, that's like a big deal, man.
It is, and the hospital, they did that right after he was born, and they never told him, and they went through hell trying to find out what was wrong with their kid. I mean, going to doctors in other states. And with AIDS, as prominent as it is, you would think they would discover it right away, but it took them 2 years of going to different specialists before they came to the decision that he had AIDS.
Holy crap.
Yeah,
I hope that those parents went and sued the freaking crap out of that hospital.
I don't know if they did or not. They had... she had the baby down at Mercy. But, I mean, it was so sad, and it was their only child, and to have to go through that much for them to say that it's AIDS, even though it was like 15 years ago, even still, they should have been able to find it sooner. It's another way of getting money through the insurance and stuff, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, man. Oh, this world is so screwed up. It just drives me crazy.
Yeah, the ones that you trust them, supposed to be able to trust the most, are the ones that are killing you. It's like, especially with older people, they're afraid to say anything to their doctors. They just agree. Like my mom, if the doctor said that, yeah, that's what she did until she got real sick. Now she questions them.
You got to question everything every time. Everything.
Yeah. I mean, really, and they call it practicing for a reason. They're guessing, like, oh, let's try this and see if it works. Okay, if it doesn't, then that money's gone. Okay, then let's try this. Do it yourself.
Yeah, well, a lot of times people don't have the knowledge to even know where to start,
Yeah, but in this day and age with the computer, everyone knows you go Google something, or get some. And then a lot of doctors get angry if you want to get a second opinion. They get offended, and they teach doctors different now than they used to. It used to be to try and cure diseases. Now it's to maintain them.
Yeah, well, take care of the symptoms of it. Yeah, they don't want to cure shit. Because if they cured stuff, then nobody would want to be relying on the pharmaceutical industry anymore, and they can't have that.
They're not going to have no cure for cancer, not when it's making all this money.
Oh, hell yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. That's exactly how they freaking operate. It drives me up a wall, man.
And then when you go to, like, this one lady from Marysville, from our area, she came up with Procarin for MS.
What's that?
And it's you need a compound pharmacist to get it. But she was a nurse, and she developed MS. Well, she found these files that doctor a long, long time ago was curing people with symptoms of MS. And she started reading and experimenting with it. And so this doctor friend of hers, she said how it was remarkable it was working for her. He gave it to some of his MS patients, some that like could hardly walk, within days. They were walking, they were running. People that were in wheelchairs were functioning and getting out of wheelchairs. And I have all the stuff on it, but you need there's nothing dangerous in it either. And a compound pharmacist can make it for you, and it costs $250 a month. But you know what? She got a hold of the MS Society and all that. None of them wanted anything to do with it because they had such great results. I think you can even, some of the videos might be on YouTube. But, I would go into the boards, where people go in and talk about certain things. I went in the boards and read from the people, not from doctors, of the results in it. But you had to do it every day. You had to take it every day. Amazing.
What was it? What was the stuff?
They got a patent on it, so they don't tell you the ingredients out there. It was in the process of getting a patent.
Oh.
But, I went and got all the information I could on it, and but people are afraid to get off the medicine that the doctors are giving them and try something new. But the results, it was amazing. It was even on the news about how these people, all of a sudden she could walk, she could play the piano that she hadn't played in years after just 4 days on it. And a lot of it had to do with caffeine. It seems that it filled that, there's supposed to be two, where something's not making a connection. And it was said to make that connection for people.
Wow.
I'll see if I can't find, I have the disc on it that shows it on TV where they're talking about it. But it was amazing how people, suffering wouldn't try it because their doctor didn't know about it. So their doctor would go, no.
Right, and if it's and then the funny thing is that they'll be like, well, if it's not FDA approved, then we can't touch it, which is ridiculous after the article I just read, because 95% of the freaking pharmaceuticals out there, I like to call them pharmies for short, but 95% of the freaking pharmies aren't approved through the FDA. So,
or they're fast tracked, and they don't do no testing.
Exactly. Yeah, and they fast track all this shit, just like they're doing with all the Ebola vaccines out there that they're cranking out now, and it's the same thing there. And it's just. But then when you got something that really, really works, made from natural compounds, it's not FDA approved. Ooh, you know what I mean?
I know.
I hate that shit, and it just drives me crazy. And people, like, when you tell them, look, dude, the medicines that you could be on right now, more than likely haven't even been approved by the FDA itself. So it's all just color of whatever the hell lie they want to tell us this today. You know what I mean? I hate this shit. It drives me nuts, man.
Yeah, and then the side effects, most doctors don't even know the side effects of all these drugs they're giving now. And a lot of times with the older people, you'll find that they're taking drugs that they shouldn't be taking with other drugs.
Right, the interactions, and then when the person comes in and they complain about a side effect, then they give them another drug to
take care of the side effect.
Care of the side effect, yeah.
But keep you on the one drug that's caused. If something's giving you a bad side effect, to me, that's an indication you shouldn't be taking it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But
and that's how some of these people get on 20 and 30. I don't know how they afford these prescriptions. I mean, I have a friend that when she first got MS, they were charging her $350 a week for this shot she had to give herself. And she finally weaned herself off of it, and she's doing much better.
See? Gosh. When really all it's going to take is just some nice, heavy, really high
change in lifestyle.
THC, either Simpson oil or indica cannabis. I mean, that will help.
Well, and there's a lot of other things out there too that it mostly has to do with diet. It really does.
No, it does. You're right. And it's all the sugar we consume. And,
right. And it's hard to stop using sugar. I mean, I only buy at the health food store, and I always read labels, and I stay away from fructose and all that. But even too much of the pure cane sugar that isn't processed isn't good for you.
No, it's not. It's not.
Yeah, our taste buds are so addicted.
Yeah, with all the white breads and grains of any kind, really.
Yeah, well, I make my own bread, so that's good. And now,
since
I can't eat nuts because I have diverticulitis, I crush them up in my food grinder, like the pecans I got from out back, and now I'm putting it in my bread. I break it all, nuts down to powder, flour-like, and then put it in with my bread, so I'm still getting...
Oh, so you're making your bread out of, like, nut flour. Right?
Yeah, I'm adding it in with my flour, and like it's great. I use hazelnuts. I use all kinds. Every week I make different kinds. I put different kinds of nuts in there.
Oh my God, my computer it's.
And you get stevia. You can grow your own stevia plant.
I've grown stevia before. I have.
Right, and then it comes out green, but that's the only difference. It's not bleached. But yeah, and stevia, no calories, and it really doesn't affect your body like sugar does.
No, it doesn't spike your insulin.
Right. Because it's not sugar, but it's sweeter than sugar. So I'm really changing over to that. In fact, I canned one of the fruit with it. I can't remember which one, but now they're coming up with recipes using stevia.
Yep. I've got a personal trainer, and we do exchanges. I clean her house or whatever, and she gives me personal training.
The bartering system, I love it.
That's right. That's what I do. And she has told me don't eat, consume any sugar whatsoever. Don't eat any, like, white flour or grains or like rice. None of that stuff is any good. It all just turns to sugar in your body. And so if you starve yourself of the sugars, like you're feeding candida, because candida, everybody has candida in their bodies, especially if you do consume sugar, and even the diet crap, the aspartame, same shit. But you're feeding this candida, and if you stop feeding it sugar, what it craves, then your fat will like start to melt away because it doesn't have anything else to work on, so it goes to work on your fat cells. So it's a big deal, like you just eat meat and vegetables, pretty much. Meat, vegetables.
Oh, that's the no carb diet. I did that. Well, lost a lot of weight, but I got really sick.
It's called a paleo diet, which means a caveman diet.
Well, they can call it whatever they want. You can eat protein, but no carbs, right?
Pretty much.
Yeah, and I did it, and I dropped weight really fast, and and then I found out too much, and then I got sick because your body needs the carbs for energy, and it does make you drop weight, but it's very unhealthy, and you can get your sweets from your fruit.
That's what I do.
Yeah, I use coconut a lot.
That's really good for you because that's coconut's like probably one of the best substances. I just don't like the flavor of it, so.
Well, yeah, but cooking, I mean, I make my own flour with my juicer. I get the whole coconut, and I make my coconut cream, and I make my coconut oil, and my coconut, there's all these things that you can make from it. Coconut butter.
That's awesome.
All from one coconut. So, yeah. But it sure is good, and after every shower, I rub coconut oil all over, and
it's really good. Mm-hmm. It's really, really good for you. And I put coconut oil in my hair.
Oh yeah, right before I wash it, I go and just massage it into all my hair, and it really, after you wash it, it just comes out so nice.
Yeah,
wash your hair
really
with
does.
baking soda once a week.
Mm-hmm.
Shampoo it and then pour baking soda water over it, and it cleans everything off of your hair, all the smoke, all the everything.
That's
and then
neat.
condition it. Yeah.
I've never put baking soda in my hair before, and I only really wash my hair like once a week. You're not supposed to wash every day.
No, you shouldn't. And what baking soda does, like anything else, it neutralizes all the smoke and chemtrails and all that stuff. Your hair absorbs it.
Yeah.
And once a week, you just take it and you can feel it. Your hair, you know that squeaky sound when something's real clean? That's how your hair sounds.
Right.
And you'd be amazed. And then put on a good conditioner or like use mayonnaise, put it in and then rinse that out and it leaves your hair baby smooth, soft. It's amazing.
Jax is in the chat room making funny comments.
Jax is always funny. Love you, Jax.
Cute. Yeah, we love you, Jax.
Oh, I see. He wants to get in and help me wash my hair. Isn't that sweet of him? Jax, you are just all heart.
Isn't he cute?
Yeah. I just love our chatters.
They're do too. Cool. You guys are awesome. Oh, it's very distracting to pay attention to the chat room, but every once in a while we gotta acknowledge you guys, you know, because you guys are fantastic.
Just say hi to everybody.
Yeah, hey, how is everybody in the chat room today? But it's funny because there's, I don't know, what, a 30-second delay, so...
Delay, right.
So... I don't even think they're hearing us right now.
Not yet, but they'll get it any minute.
Oh, yeah, there he is.
There
got it. Oh, my goodness.
Yeah.
Well, we got a half hour left. Where do we go from here? We've already, ripped the entire pharmaceutical industry a new asshole, which I like doing.
Oh, yeah, between them and, and the police and stuff, I mean, who has a chance?
Well, we did that on Tuesday. If the cops don't give you
the doctors will.
Yeah. Yeah. I think we ripped apart that whole subject on Tuesday. I mean, we spent pretty much the whole entire 2 hours talking about that.
Yeah.
Talking about the police stuff.
But you know what? Like the thing in Ferguson, I want to say one thing. All the cops in Ferguson now are wearing cameras on their uniforms.
Oh, good. At least they did something.
Yeah. And, I mean, the actual... solution was seen to, all these committees and everything, nothing ever changes, no solutions or anything. This is once we have solutions happening.
Yeah.
So, they say rioting doesn't help, but it did there.
I don't know. Schools are starting to do miniature riots in their own ways with and a lot of them are, I guess, dropping Michelle Obama's school lunch programs like hotcakes. They're just saying, screw this. This is like starvation diet for our kids. You know what I mean? I guess she's trying to fight childhood obesity, and she says no more grilled cheese and tomato soup, and no more spaghetti and meatballs, and no more pizza, and no more this, no more that, no more hamburgers. So what the hell are these poor kids supposed to freaking eat?
Oh, more and more schools are rejecting her and her thing. I mean, that woman, she doesn't have no schooling in nutrition or anything, and she wants to be out there telling all these people how to, to feed their kids.
Yeah, absolutely. That's crazy. There's a oh god, these ads. I can't even read an article. You know what I mean? It's just, oh my god, there they go again. I close one out, another one pops up.
Yeah, I bet you if you look at the bottom of your screen down on your taskbar, you have a lot of open files that you didn't know.
Oh, really? I'm trying to close them all out.
Yeah, but as you do, the more will pop up. Yeah, you need to run a couple programs on your computer pretty bad.
It says, here's a ketchup ban at Florida restaurant sparks a national food debate. It says, what's a surefire way to get people talking about your restaurant? Ban one of America's favorite condiments. Mad Fresh Bistro in Fort Myers, Florida, does not serve ketchup anymore to anyone over 10 years old.
Why?
According to Yahoo, which first published the most recent story about the Florida eatery, says, quote, chef reserves the right to refuse service of ketchup. It has been printed in some form on the menus at Mad Fresh Bistro since the South Fort Myers restaurant opened in October 2012. And people took note. The highly diversive culinary debate garnered over 1,700 story comments, and with responders on both side of the foodie fence. God, I hate these kind of articles. They're so stupid.
Mm-hmm.
Many believe that if they're shelling out money for a good meal, they should be able to choose what goes on their food. At what point did the service industry become a front for egotism? I am all for offering new items, encouraging customers to branch out, etc., but the guests are the ones who keep us in business. Are we really so egotistical? Actually, it's not. It shouldn't even. Are we really so egotistical that we're willing to lose business over ketchup, or someone who wants the food they are paying for their way? What happens to giving a guest service and giving the guests what they want? Who wrote a user identified as Sandy, but some sided with Fresh Max. I totally agree. Ketchup is for kids. It makes everything taste like ketchup. What's the point?
I make my own. I like ketchup with certain things, but I don't cover everything with it.
Well, it's mostly based out of high fructose corn syrup or sugar.
But not if you make your own.
Well, not if you make your own.
And you can do it with honey. I made mine with honey.
Yeah. It says, according to Press News, chef owner Xavier Duclos, who worked on yachts and at country clubs before opening his own Florida bistro, defended his position. He says, my burger has got a sauce on it already. There's no point in adding a sweet sauce on top of that. I think ketchup is edible on certain things. I'll give it that much, but it's just not part of my culinary agenda. He added, I think my flavors work. You don't walk into the museum and tell them to change the color of their painting. And you know what? He's got a freaking point. It's his restaurant. He's going to do whatever the hell he wants. But the issue sparked a larger discussion about uptight chefs and their refusal to alter their dishes to their customers' whims.
But if they ban ketchup, well, then they're not bowing to their customers' whims. Because if you want ketchup and you can't get it, well, I mean, it's stupid. Why does everybody want to control everyone else? Even how other people eat. It's crazy.
I know. It's ridiculous. Let's see. Mad Fresh is hardly the first restaurant to deny picky patron requests. April Bloomfield, chef owner of New York hotspot The Spotted Pig, reportedly bans condiments on her signature burgers, and told Kobe Bryant that Roquefort cheese could not be removed from his order. That's crazy.
What if he's allergic?
Yeah, man. I mean, and I don't particularly like Roquefort cheese because it's a blue cheese, and I can't stand blue cheese. Mm-hmm. And for somebody to not remove or say that you can't have that on there, that's just that's bad business. Mm-hmm. It says that this restaurant has no intention on lifting the ketchup ban anytime soon. So,
but they're gonna lose business, I would think.
Yeah, probably. So that's done with that stupid ass article.
How about this? New app will fly drone to your emergency situation.
I saw that, and it. I didn't see an article with it. It was just a clip.
Oh well, no, you had to answer a question to get the article, but it's the sky is no longer the limit for an Arlington Heights man and his Chicago-based firm, which developed and patented a personal security smartphone app. The latest innovation of Lifeline Response founder Peter Kao and his team is the ability for their app to automatically summon an aerial drone as well as police to the scene of an attack. The feature, along with an upgraded type of drone, will become available in 30 days. About 30 college, corporate, and hospital campuses have already signed on to be among the first to use it nationwide, Cahill said. Officials from Cahill Company Clandestine Development LLC gave a demonstration of the new technology Tuesday at Sunset Meadows Park in Arlington Heights. The app has two settings which alert a call center in Erie, Pennsylvania. One activates as soon as someone who feels in a dangerous situation, takes his or her thumb off the app's dummy switch. The other setting works if a preset time lapse without the user entering a code to cancel the first alert. It sounds like Life Alert, like what I got for my mom, pretty much, but this is on your phone.
Yeah.
The app previously only alerted the call center to call 911, but now an aerial drone in locations where their use is allowed can be flown immediately to the scene of an attack or emergency. But is it going to be armed? I don't understand unless it's just a film. But let me go on. Action on the part of the call center or local authorities is not necessary to activate the drone, but they can subsequently take control of the machine to decide whether to keep its camera trained on a fleeing attacker or a victim left behind. Although the drones used in Tuesday's demonstration was a prototype, the one that will be used in practice will be equipped with speakers to issue warnings and alerts just as the phone app itself does. The chief information officer for the company said that while the drone is intended to collect information from the scene, its highest priority is to scare off the attacker and prevent injury. The drone makes no secret of its presence when it arrives. The question I have is like, okay, how many drones are we going to have flying around out there every time somebody feels threatened?
Yeah, that's right. I mean, it's going to be a problem. There's going to be drones everywhere just crashing into each other and crashing into buildings and misfunctioning and, I mean, killing people on the sidewalk,
And these are going to be out there in 30 days.
Yeah, 30 freaking days. That's what killed me about that. I mean, really?
I don't know about you, but I don't know how many criminals, like if they have a gun, they're not just going to shoot that drone out of the sky.
Well, right. I mean, if it flies, it dies. That's the number one rule. Or, I mean, you don't even need if you're a good shot with a freaking slingshot.
Slingshot,
bam! Yeah. Just,
but
nice
I mean, it doesn't make
bearing.
its presence. It doesn't hide its presence there. So if you have a gun and you're pulling a burglary, your first thing you're going to do is blow that thing out of the water.
Yeah, they're getting us used to it. This is how they're gonna get us used to seeing drones like in our cities and stuff. They're gonna start applying it through things that so-called help you. You know what I mean? You got a drone app. You can summon the drone if you're being attacked. And you know what, though? I wouldn't want to rely on a freaking drone to come and help me. If I am faced with an attacker, I'm going to, need to do something now before, 10 minutes goes up by the time you summon the drone from wherever it is, campus. You know what I mean? You're going to need to address the situation before that. And, the chances are the drone's not going to deter a guy who's really, got you in the bushes. You know what I mean? Or in the woods. The drone's not going to be able to fly around in the woods. So,
right, and it'll give the cops another excuse not to get there so quick.
Right. So, I don't know. I think it's going to fall flat on its face.
Well, they already, right here's another article about robots deliver meals to patients in super hospital.
Yeah.
And I seen an article earlier too about these robots that are going on the market next month.
Yep, and here they come. Here it all comes. I mean, who knows what's going to happen next Thursday, September 11th. I mean, maybe they're just rolling this out and timing it all perfectly so that we just like if we get traumatized like we did in 9/11 in 2001, then everybody's traumatized. Then they start rolling out the drones and the robots. When we're all in a highly suggestive state.
Well, look, ISIS is supposed to attack us anytime, and then they say ISIS is coming over the border, so it's all primed. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, so, and then they roll out the drones and the robots, see, to keep us safe and to help us, and when we're in a highly suggestive, traumatized state of mind. The timing of these things is no accident. It's been highly
publicized.
Well, not publicized, but it's been they've already got it.
It's all preset.
Yeah, it's preset.
Everybody primed and ready.
Yeah, they've already had it planned for so long that now they're ready to roll it out.
And that's what scares me, because you know what? I have a feeling we're going to have bombs in many different cities. Mm-hmm. That way they can say, it's not just the East Coast. If you live on the West Coast or here or there, right. They're going to do some damage this time, and they're going to kill some people.
Yeah, a lot of people.
And then all that militarized police, everybody's going to be begging them, come save us.
Yep, put the robots on the streets.
Yeah.
Put the drones in the skies.
And bring back the SWAT teams and everything else. Yeah, it's all, it's just a matter of how soon. And with September 11th coming up.
I think it's right around the corner here. Hammy was talking about yesterday that some guy was publishing this book, and that was going to piss off the Muslim world. And then I read an article that they're going to release more of the Abu Ghraib photos, torture photos, and they're going to release the rest of them now, the ones that hasn't been released. That's a nice timely fashion too. That'll just piss them off even more, and hopefully, they hope that more will become radicalized. And
and then he thinks that the beheadings are all a fake, and he had a pretty good case against it.
He did.
He really did. And they even said it was done not at that time. It was staged in that he's dead, but they did it somewhere else and then publicized it. But I'm kind of with Hammy on that. I don't believe anything anymore. And, no blood or anything. It's just, I didn't watch it, but what he said made a lot of sense.
Well, they came out last night, like on the evening news. In fact, it was their headlining first news story, and it was that the
second one was authenticated.
Yes, that they absolutely authenticated the second one. This recent one, I can't remember the dude's name, but they authenticated it as real, and Obama is like, this will not be allowed to, we are going to chase them to the ends of the earth, and freaking here's freaking Joe Biden, we will chase them to the very gates of hell. You know what I mean? That's what these people are just
like in Benghazi, like we're gonna find them and we're gonna chase them down. No one's been held accountable there.
Well, they're just chasing their own tails. Actually, it's a snake biting their own tail. They're the ones that perpetrate it. They're the ones that investigate themselves. Yeah, and it's just a vicious freaking cycle. And we're all just about damn sick of it out here. Let me tell you that right now.
Yeah. And then when they do seem to take care of something, just like Bin Laden, the video, it could have been anyone, and the people that live around there said that's not what happened, and that he wasn't living there, and they should know.
That's right.
They never show the guy up close. They show a film of some guy from the back watching the TV, and then all these stories come out, and then all of a sudden all the people that were involved in the killing are dead, and nobody could put this together.
That's right. All those SEALs guys were on the C-130 that crashed, and they
and they never
it just happened to be every single one of them, huh?
Yeah. And they never travel all together like that, from what I've read.
That's right.
And you know, there's all of them. They're just gone. So loose lips. They were going to make sure no one was going to say, and then taking them off to bury them at sea. I mean, the whole thing. Anyone that falls for that, when Bin Laden was probably dead years before.
Oh yeah.
They had that he had.
Absolutely. He had diabetes apparently.
A rare form too.
Yeah, a rare form where he needed freaking blood transfusions every freaking week.
And no one survives over 5 years with that.
Yeah.
But you know, there's just so many. You can't believe anything on the news anymore. Anything that.
It's how do you know they're lying? Oh, their lips are moving. You know what I mean? I always say that. It's I don't know.
It's crazy.
We only have 10 more minutes left.
I mean, just think if we didn't have the internet, how uninformed we would be.
Yeah, I think the internet backfired on them.
Yeah, well, it's a double-edged sword.
Because now the web, it is a double-edged sword. Now something can happen like across the world, over in Australia, and it can be transferred pretty quickly as far as news goes.
Right. In fact, more quickly and usually more honest.
In fact, I saw a clip yesterday about how this freaking drone was on this hillside, and it was looking at a ram, and the freaking ram charged at the drone and took it out of the sky. Was able to make contact with it. The guy was flying it too low, and the ram just bashed the crap out of it. It got pissed off, and then it went when the pilot went to retrieve the drone, and this is just some hobby drone, right? Some dude was just flying it around in New Zealand, and I guess the ram freaking started butting him when he went to pick it up. He was bashed him.
Or like that one with that kid that on the beach that kept flying it around that chick.
Yeah, yeah. Oh my god, and that's and I guess a friend of mine, somebody was telling me that I think it was my roommate was telling me that their family lives in Arizona, and because they're a border state, they're used to seeing drones flying around, and I guess somebody was complaining they were laying out next to the pool and there was a drone flying around taking pictures of her. So,
yeah, you have no privacy then. And I always thought that when you own your land, you own the airspace above it too. I mean,
no.
So high?
Nope. I don't know how high. Maybe flagpole height. Maybe a flagpole height above your house. I mean, I don't know. I've never bought a house, so I don't know the freaking specs. But you don't own what's below.
I know that minerals, unless you bought it a long, long time ago. But yeah, mineral rights you don't get.
No, not at all. Nor the water rights.
You usually, if you read the titles now, they say homeowner on them. They don't say landowner.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, just the.
So you own the home on it, but you don't own the land. And look, the government says that it owns all water on the planet. Be it rain, be it creek, be it your pond.
As far as airspace goes, I'm sure it's exactly as above, so below, which is how these assholes operate.
Yeah, it's kind of curious because if you own your up there, then you could say, hey, you can't fly chemtrails over my land or
no
over my land.
No, that's not going to happen.
Yeah,
sorry.
Well, it was a good thought.
Yeah, there used to be back in the dirt about I don't know what 6, 7, 8 years ago, they had this weird contraption called a chemtrail buster where
I remember that.
Remember that? It just it I don't know what the hell kind of thing it sent up in the atmosphere, but damn thing didn't work. Come on.
Of course it didn't, because people there's always going to be people out there that are going to, seize an opportunity.
Yeah.
I mean, look, they were selling concrete and all those gadgets, tubes and stuff that you had to get.
Mm-hmm.
But,
yeah. people are scared and gullible enough to buy that. I actually got that Nuke Alert thing, the little Nuke Alert keychain thing, and I mean it's still actually. I got that thing like 10 years ago now. It's still sampling air.
Wow.
It's really bizarre. But it really doesn't work anymore, but you can hear a faint little air sampling. It just makes this click, 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 click noise. And it's still, even now, it's still sampling the air. It doesn't click like it used to.
It doesn't give you a reading or anything?
No, it just makes a little noise, like a high-pitched screaming noise.
Yeah, I'm beginning to wonder about that patch thing that I got that they say that people wear, to let them know when they hit a certain level of radiation. It still hasn't changed anything at all on it. And if all the oceans are dead up above me, it seems like it would be reading something.
You would think.
Yeah.
And I wish that I had some kind of like a Geiger counter or something in the store with me, so that
I know when you go shopping. Yeah, me too.
Really
but the cheapest I could find was $300.
Oh my God! See, that's like wow.
But I used to love kelp. I used to buy that all the time, and seaweed. But I ain't buying it no more. I haven't.
Yeah, because that's what the stuff. Kelp and seaweed actually are kind of act like mushrooms.
Yeah, and then look at the chemtrails have to be keeping the radiation down.
Huh?
With their blanket up there.
Actually, they're keeping the radiation inside.
Well, that's what I meant. Keeping it. Yeah.
They're keeping it inside a dome. They're creating a dome out there, and they're going to keep all the There's good radiation and bad radiation. The stuff that comes from the sun is good radiation. The stuff
only certain levels. I mean, there's UVA, UVB, and UV.
I start to question all that UV crap because they've got UV protection and everything.
You don't want to use that. That's not, the sun, that protection. I would never put sunscreen on. But no, like Dane says, I mean, there's certain levels of radiation that the sun puts off, and usually certain ones, and I can't remember the order, but don't come down like the like for X-rays. They use that other level, and he says that the bad ones are starting to come through.
Yeah, and because they're filtering out the good ones, and that's the problem. And the thing is, with all the Fukushima and stuff, that the bad radiation, that's not going to be able to escape. So,
and it's still spilling out into the ocean.
Yes,
and
it is.
You talk to people about it, and they go, "What? Didn't that happen years ago or something?"
Yep. Everybody always says that I talk about that with. That happened so long ago. Oh, yeah, but dude, it's gonna keep happening for the next, billion years. Hello? You know what I mean?
Yeah. I just found a video these guys that went up in Canada, like I was saying day before yesterday, and I haven't watched the whole thing, but it's scary.
I guess part of a crane fell into reactor core number 3 this week, or maybe last week. The whole front of the crane is now resting on the rods that are in the freaking reactor core.
Shit! And if those hit each other,
I know. So they've got this giant piece of heavy equipment that's sitting on these freaking rods down there in the pool, in the reactor pool. I mean, and they're trying to figure out how to get it out, and it's just more delay, and it's, you know what I mean? I don't mean to laugh because this is it's absolutely inanely insane. there's experts coming out with a bunch of solutions like all the time, but they're not listening. They're not listening. The one guy said to put a freaking enclosure over it, a pretty sturdy freaking enclosure, a dome, an enclosure of some sort, and then drain the pools and just let it go into this enclosure, all the air and stuff like that. Because, jeez, man, and that sounds viable to me.
Yeah, it does.
Keep it, contained within the enclosure instead of letting it seep into the freaking ocean every day, millions of gallons. I don't know, man. There are definite suggestions that are happening, but TEPCO ain't doing anything about it. They think they know the answers, and, they're just, the mafia, the Japanese mafia, Yakuza, is getting homeless people off the streets in order to go in there and clean the shit up. It's just sick what's happening over there. Makes me puke.
I know. And it's coming at us,
It is.
No two ways about it.
Yeah, so we've got that on top of, the...
And what was it when they found out that it was reaching our shores? They stopped taking all readings.
Yeah, exactly.
All local officials, nobody will take any readings.
Right.
That'll make it go away.
Yeah, that'll really make it go away. Oh my God, I don't know. What do you do?
You just struggle on, and try and make the best of what time we have left.
Absolutely. All right, let's see here.
Well, we're at the end.
We are at the end, aren't we?
Wow, that went by quick, and I was so sore when I got up. I'm going, I can't do this, and look, it's done. Did I lose you?
No, I'm here.
Oh, there she is.
I'm just trying to get to the page, and everything goes slow. So, I'll hang up from the network, but not hang up from you when we're done.
Right, and then I'll pass you some apps, some software to run.
Thank you so much. Oh, I appreciate it.
Oh, my pleasure.
Well,
so,
it's here we are at the end. It's the end.
Well, our leaves are starting to fall already.
See, ours are turning color. There's fall in the air, man. Stay tuned for Post Ignorance with Kevin Blanche, and then there's a bunch of replays. And Jack Blood, I guess, is no longer there.
Yeah.
But 6 o'clock is the Ocelli Effect with Chuck Ocelli, and then we've got Jefferson at 8 o'clock. Is this a new show, Jefferson Republic Radio? I've not heard that before.
Oh,
yeah.
Moving forward, it's going to happen. I'm telling you.
Yes, at 10 o'clock is Double Cross with Drew, David, and Chuck. So yeah, that's a pretty. So you should listen about 8. Well, it's 8 o'clock Eastern time. I think these times are.
Yeah, it's earlier here.
Yeah, so that's Jefferson Radio. That sounds an interesting show. Stay tuned to UCFly.tv, you guys. Hope you have a good day. We'll be here tomorrow.